Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So I know that everyone's waiting for update 2.5, and so I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of my current roster and account just before the big update drops so that we can kind of see where we're heading in terms of pulling. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Also, I do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So first of all, I just wanted to show the teams that I have set up. So you can see each of them are, I guess, zone related or elemental grouping. My team 6 is for Xeno Domain Very Hard. Team 7 is for my Guerrilla. And of course, team 9 and 10 are for Seeker Points. I'm actually almost finished that. I only have a little bit more, maybe 1 or 2 more runs to go. So I'm sure you guys want to see how many characters I have, the light and shadow on them, and kind of, what I've done up to this point. So first of all, you can see my entire roster of 5 stars, and then we'll go a little bit quicker when we pass through those 4 stars, and finally the 3-star bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights. Now, if you're curious, we are currently at 781 total summons, and that includes the Whisper of the time drop guarantee, and that's the reason why it's actually off by 1. Most of you know that I prefer pulling on 10 pulls to increase the chance of 4.5s or 5 stars versus just pulling single pulls, as opposed to my sons who like to try, the YOLO single pull and keep on doing that until they either win or they lose. In terms of my success rate, out of those 781, and again, including the guaranteed 5-star, I have hit 31 different 5 stars, and 19 of them were different. So I actually hit 12 dupes, even on these kind of pulls. So I can imagine the frustration for many of you if you guys are using Fatefuls and hitting dupes of characters, that you're not looking for. Now, one thing I will say is, it's actually okay, being that, more light does unlock more stats, and remember that in Japan, after a while, when you hit 80 light or shadow, you'll unlock a 4th skill slot, so that will be useful moving forward. That being said, at this point, totally not, and as a free-to-play, I would much rather have different 5 stars than hitting a bunch of dupes, but what can you do, right? RNG is RNG. So, you saw fairly heavy light grind on the 3 main characters for the light team, which is Aldo, of course, Amy, and Azami. And you can see that for example, my Mighty still is a 4-star, never hit a 5-star version of her in any form. You got the Shion and the Hozuki, of course, as 4 stars, just 4 light. Radias is also 4 light. And here's my Shadow double hit on the Elga AS. That was a little bit frustrating. I hit the Elga AS on the Summer Campaign banner, and then I got that as a free character in the Whisper of Time Drop. So that was quite annoying. Unfortunately, we can't grind any Shadow for Sophia. I hope in the future we can actually amend that. Now you can take a look at the AS characters I have, because obviously when you're scrolling down, you can't tell which ones are AS and which ones aren't. Everyone has AS Gary, of course. And with Toova, I did manually upgrade her. This one, I did hit that one in the second hit as my, second pull in the Summer Campaign. Now, out of all the characters I have listed here as 5-star, I manually upgraded Mighty, and Ewan, Shannon, AS Toova, all 3 encounter characters, Shion, Myunfa, Dewey, Radias, and Bria. Now with Dewey and Ewan, I actually did hit them as a 5-star later on, and so in that sense is a little bit of waste. I believe I paid for Claude as well, so I'll have to update that in my notes. Okay, luckily for us though, at least for myself, Hozuki will be coming with an AS version a few months down the road in Japan. So even though hers is only a 4-star, that's going to be a huge win for me, being that I believe she's ranked as number 1 in Ultima, which is a Japanese wiki for Another Eden. So make sure you check that one out and use Google Translate if you need additional resources. Now next up, I'm going to be going down my key items here. I know that's probably not that important, but however, I want to show you what I have just in case you're missing a few or you're curious as to how many I have compared to you. Now, please let me know in the comments below if I happen to have some that you don't have, or otherwise, if you have some that I don't have, so I'll have to hunt those down. Now, also of note, remember I mentioned this in another video, but some of these actually pertain to the Sophia's side episode as well. So take a look at those as well. Okay, so next up is my list of weapons. You can see that, obviously we have a bunch of manifests and some level 60 weapons as well. And we'll just go down each individual class of weapons. I do miss actually grinding for other lands in the fact that I don't like having a non-plus 10 weapon. I know some of the other lower end weapons are only plus 3 or 4. Little glitter plus 10. I remember grinding that out last summer when there wasn't much to do, and Miyu was the Little Tails was kind of the main content to be grinding for. Katana's next. So I have the adamantium sword, which I actually should put on someone in the future. I think I had it on Sukiya and actually moved it off her, being that she has her black blaze weapon. I'll just quickly scroll down those level 1s. A reminder, remember to try to get as many of each individual weapons as you can. Remember, they do give you unlocked rewards for gold badges as well as 50 chrono stones for the higher ranges. I think I'm approaching up to 50 of many of the different weapon classes and gear. You can check that out as I scroll through this video, because I will be showing everything I have. The rail spear. Those 4 horrors for fishing were quite a pain to get, and I'm glad that it is over. And again, I will show you later on in this video how much more fishing I really have to do. Pretty much tossed that fishing rod. I'm not planning to do that again, although there are quite a few hundreds of stones I probably can farm off if needed. Now that Lollipopper plus 7, which is from Total Dreamland, I should probably upgrade to plus 10. But again, it's kind of monotonous to grind for materials that, at the end of the day, how much more stats does it really give your weapon bonus? And moving forward, I'm sure some of these weapons will be obsolete. So I really haven't put much time into the weapons. Others, of course, you can see have been plus 10. Now that Ultimania Hammer is a pretty interesting one. The final levels do require you to go back to other lands and fight some of the horrors, as well as at the very last level, fight each of the 3 different bosses in other lands very hard. Now the problem with that is each of those costs 2 green keys to even go in once, and so to finish the last couple of levels, you essentially have to use 2 green keys times at least 6 runs into other lands. 12 keys, what a waste. Garrelia, Antiquity, and Present are probably much more beneficial for most of us at this point. I mean, if you still have to go there just to grind out enough materials to get level 1 Alconactos, for example, just for collection, hey, by all means do so. But for myself, I'm probably not going to go back there, being that, hey, each key, especially green and red keys, are so important to enhance your chances of chants, treatises, and of course, even light and shadow for us free-to-play players. I mean, I know we have Straw Boy. That still takes XP to grind, and I don't have any macros on iOS, so I have to manually grind everything. That would take hours, and so I bring him along for all my dungeon runs for at least the red keys. Green ones, if I'm using Garrelia, I do have a set team, and I do require all 6 slots for use and ability, as opposed to just having Straw Boy in there. Now, after doing a few XP dungeons, you can see I have a lot of 20 and 30% badges. If you don't have at least 1 or 2 30% badges, I highly recommend you running a very hard XP dungeon, because they'll be very useful if you get new characters. Now, next up is my badges here. So you can see some of them are pretty high stacked ones. Obviously, the plus 25, plus 27, pretty useful. The main thing I will say about this is that obviously, the stats are only a relatively small boost, being that most of the 5-star characters have probably a base stat of at least 200 for a lot of things. I would emphasize that the 3 most important stats, at least for attacking purposes and also defensive purposes, probably are power, of course, being for your physical fighters, int, which is obviously for your healers and mages, and speed, which is also for your healers / support. If you can get a power speed or int speed, just like for your, Grasta, those are by far the most valuable ones. And remember that the substat one, on average, gets anywhere between +1 and +5, but you saw for one of them, I got a +10 plus. So anything in the second sub slot of +10 would be amazing. Okay, next up is my memoirs. And yes, I do have a lot of chat scripts, 63 to be exact, even after upgrading that number of 5 stars on my team. And if you're wondering how come I have so many, obviously I have had some great RNG luck, and I've pointed that out, and some of you have pointed that out as well. But look at how many treatises I have here that I have not upgraded the appropriate character. I mean, we do have the AS Mighty, for example. We have pretty much all the ASs of the characters I have, including Nika, Runa, Akane. I can probably upgrade all of those. Even AS Suzette, which I may have to choose to upgrade to show you the Manifest weapon coming up probably in a few weeks. As you know, I try not to spend any chance of treatises until I absolutely need the units. I am planning to automatically upgrade AS Annabelle once I get her 5th Paladin treatise. I mean, I could do it right now and buy the 200, using the Sibiras. However, I mean, being that I buy max green and red keys each week, and yes, I highly recommend all of you to do that if you have time to burn. The math doesn't lie, and by spending those small amounts of gems, you do increase your chance of getting chants and treatises much more than spending 200 straight out on one treatise. Now, in terms of my enhanced Grasta, you can see I have a lot of all the 4 different elements, and that is thanks to the present Garlia. If you're wondering why some of them aren't equipped, first of all, some of those tier 2 elemental Grasta have been replaced by pain and poison Grasta on my more powerful teams, such as, for example, Suzette has a tier 1 30% elemental plus a tier 2 pain, tier 2 poison. And really moving forward, you really want to have on each elemental team 1 pain or poison setter, and then everyone has pain Grasta plus elemental Grasta to enhance the damage as much as possible. Now here's my VC Grasta, and yes, I do have a couple of VC Grasta for some AS characters, and that's another reason why I actually haven't upgraded some of my AS characters. I mean, at this point, I have farmed 4 or even 5 of some of the characters' VC Grasta. I mean, in terms of the treatises. If I by chance happen to off-banner pull one of the ASs, I don't want to regret having to upgrade them and then, for example, have wasted 5 treatises. And I know that can be the case, and RNG is going to be RNG, but I don't want to do that any more than I have to. That being said, it's not like I hit 5-star Mighty in over 12 months, so sometimes it works where you just pay the 5 chance and never look back, and it's worth it. And even in the case of Ewan, I think I used him for over 6 months without hitting the 5-star upgrade through I think a Whisper of Time, actually. So totally worth it as long as you get the use out of it. And so, in general, when upgrading, make sure you upgrade just when you need it, as opposed to, you have nothing better to do and you just want another 5-star for your team. I don't really recommend it because you never know if you hit that next 4.5 that you really need the 5-star upgrade or something along those lines. Now, in terms of my gold, silver, and bronze awards, you can see the totals there. Just scrolling quickly down the ones that I'm missing, and just like everyone else, I have not killed 100 of everything. I really should, but again, Gamer Dad is a working dad, and I'm not running any macros, so I really don't want to be hunting down 100 of everything. And again, same thing with these cat equipment. I should finish up some of those. This one is hilarious. 109 out of 110. You saw how many 5-star dupes I had, and keep in mind, that's way more than average for an account, being that I only have 30-something odd 5-stars and hit so many dupes. But hey, that being said, whatever. Can't do much about that. And here's my fishing records, which I said earlier, I've pretty much thrown away that fishing rod unless something new comes out. And finally, haven't finished the treasure hunting. I have to buy another 5 treasures from the auctions. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.